Welcome you all for Tungal online classes. So we are discussing the chapter System of Particles and Rotational Motion. So last class today we will discuss level 3, the remaining questions. Okay. Yesterday we continue up to question number 20. Then we will continue the next question. So this is question number 23. Very important question. A rigid uniform rod of mass m, length l, resting on a smooth horizontal table. Two marbles each of mass m, traveling with a uniform speed v, collide with the two ends of the rod simultaneously and inelastically as shown in the figure. The marbles are get stuck to the rod after collision and continue to move with the rod. If the m value, mass of the each marble is m by 6, capital M is mass of the rod. V is equal to L meter per second. V is the velocity with which marbles are hitting. Then time taken by the rod to rotate through pi by 2. So what is the question in this is? In this question number 23rd, one rod is there. That rod length given it as L, rod mass given it as capital. So this is the center of the rod. Now two marbles are given. This is here from one marble, here from one marble. Each are same, mass value same. Each are moving with the velocity v. They collided with the rod. After collision, what happened? They collided inelastically. So the two marbles are stick with the rod. So then what happened? Actually, because of this marble, a force will act on the rod in vertically downward direction. Because of this marble, force will be acting on the rod in vertically upward direction. Like two equal forces acting at two different line of action. So what happened? Net force acting value will be equal to 0. What is the net force acting on the rod? F net value will be equal to 0. When net force value is 0, rod will be in translational equilibrium. It will not move in a straight line path. It cannot move either upward direction or downward direction. But we know that couple. So couple will generate a rotation motion. It causes the body to rotate. The body will rotate or not will rotate. The rod will rotate about which axis? About an axis passing through center and perpendicular to line. Okay. Then here torque value not 0. But remember here, so one important point here is, so here external torque is 0. Why? Because after hitting with the rod, now what happened to the particles are stick to this rod. Now particles will become system of the rod only. So external torque acting on the rod will be equal to 0. That's why angular momentum of the rod remains constant according to law of conservation of angular momentum. L value constant. L value nothing but I into omega. So can I call initial angular momentum is equal to final angular momentum. That is the value I can able to write. So initial angular momentum is equal to final angular momentum. What is the initial angular momentum of the rod? This ball. First ball this is, second ball this is. And distance given. This distance value will be equal to L by 2. This distance also equal to L by 2. So angular momentum of a particle. Initial angular momentum. Particle one is in motion. Angular momentum given by m into v into. So what is the distance from the center of this particle? That is given by L by 2. Are you getting that? This is the angular momentum of first particle. Angular momentum general formula. Angular momentum is the moment of linear momentum. Angular momentum is the product of distance and linear momentum. Linear momentum m. Distance of the particle from the center is L by 2. So what is the angular momentum of the second particle also? M into v into L by 2. What is the initial angular momentum of the rod? 0. Rod initially at rest. That's why it does not have any angular momentum. So finally after collision all together rotating. So angular momentum generated L is equal to I omega for rotational motion I1 plus I2 plus I3 into omega. So what is I1, I2, I3? I1 is the moment of inertia of first particle. I2 is the moment of inertia of second particle. I3 is the moment of inertia of the rod. Understood? Here what I will get? M into V into L by 2 plus M into V into L by 2. Which I will get 2 into M into V into L by 2. That is nothing but M into V into L. This M into V into L value is equal to I1. What is the moment of inertia of a particle? Which is at a distance L by 2? That is given by M into L by 2 whole square. Can I write plus what is the moment of inertia of the second particle? M into L by 2 whole square plus what is the moment of inertia of the rod? That is given by M into capital M right here. M L square divided by 12 into how much? Omega. This point you should get it clearly. For the rod, moment of inertia about an axis passing through center perpendicular to length. So volley will be given by ml square by 12 into omega. Correct? Then tell me what we'll get, which is equal to small m into v into L. Volley will be equal to how much? Will be equal to here ml square by 4 plus ml square by 4 plus capital M into L square divided by 12 into how much? Omega. So I want to calculate the value of omega. Omega value you want to calculate. There here the given condition V value is equal to L meter per second, and also given small m value is equal to capital M by 6. Can I substitute? So m into V is equal to L. Then what I get? L square. L into L square is equal to how much? So here how much will be there? ml square by 4 plus ml square by 4 value will be equal to ml square by 4 ml square by 4 or 2 ml square by 4, that is small ml square by 2 plus capital ml square by 12, but small m is equal to capital M by 6. If I write capital M by 6, what I will get? So ml square by 12 into how much I will get? So into the value of omega. Correct? Which is ml square by 12 plus ml square by 12. Here I got it. So here also can I substitute? Which value I can substitute? So value of m. M value also will be equal to how much? So m value will be equal to here also capital M by 6. Can I write capital M divided by 6? Then finally what is the answer I will get? ml square by 6 will be equal to this side also ml square by 6. Capital ml square by 6. ml square by 12 ml square by 12 ml square by 6 into how much? Omega. So ml square by 6 ml square by 6 cancel. What is omega value? Omega value is 1 radian per second. What they asking us to calculate? What is the time taken by the rod to rotate through what? Pi by 2. In order to rotate through pi by 2, time taken formula. How can I calculate? Omega formula is equal to theta by t. Then t value is equal to theta divided by omega. What is theta value? Pi by 2 then by omega value 1. So what is the final answer? Pi by 2 seconds. What is the time? Time taken by the rod after hitting the particles. The rod time taken to complete. So pi by 2 angular displacement is exactly equal to pi by 2 seconds. Understood? So this is the question. But remember here net force value is 0 but external torque is 0. Internal torque is not 0. Okay, this is question number 23rd. Next question. So question number 24. So what is this question is? A wheel at rest has a moment of inertia 2 by pi square kilogram meter square. It is rotated by 60 degrees watt motor for 1 minute. The number of rotations made by the wheel in 1 minute value is equal to. Question number 24. A wheel given graph. So wheel is nothing but a circular disc. What is the moment of inertia value? Given it as 2 by pi square. It is rotated by a motor of power given. Power value is equal to 60 watts. They ask us to calculate how many number of rotations does it complete in a time of 1 minute. 1 minute is nothing but 60 seconds. So what is the formula for power? Power is nothing but rate of work done. Work done by torque. How much amount of work done in a given time. So P value is equal to work done value tau into theta divided by how much? T. Work done is the product of exponential force and displacement. So tau into theta divided by T. So P can be written as tau value can be written as I into alpha into theta divided by T. Relation between torque and moment of inertia. Since tau is equal to I into alpha, can I write down? Then which can be written as P is equal to I. So alpha value can be written as, actually what is alpha? Here motion not mentioned, uniformly accelerated and rotation motion. So how can I write alpha value can be written as? So alpha value is equal to omega naught plus omega by 2 into t. Alpha is equal to rate of change of angular velocity. So rate of change of angular velocity means by t. Are you getting that? So motion is alpha value y taken here average. Motion is not uniformly accelerated. So initial angular velocity omega naught, final angular velocity omega, average value by 2. Alpha value generally omega by t. Here I write omega naught plus omega by 2 by t. But initially we started from the rest. Omega naught value 0. When omega naught value 0, then what will get alpha value? Alpha value is equal to omega into theta divided by 2 into t square. Can I write up? Which can be also written as t is equal to. Since here one more condition. What is omega value? Omega value is equal to theta divided by t. Then what will get answer? I into, in place of omega, theta by t, I into theta square by 2 into t. Understood? From this, so what is the value of theta square value? Theta square is equal to p into 2 into t cube, 2 into t cube divided by how much? Divided by I. So substituting the values. Theta value is equal to, or otherwise theta square. Theta can be written as 2 pi into n whole square. The particle completed one rotation, theta value will be 2 pi. For 2 rotations, 4 pi. For n rotation, 2 pi n whole square will be equal to p value 60 into t value 2 into t cube value 60 whole cube divided by how much? I value. I value 2 divided by how much? Pi square. 2 value cancel. And so 4 into pi square into n square will be equal to 60 into or 60 whole power 4. 60 whole power 4 divided by how much? By, see denominator nothing is there, whole power 4 into pi square. So pi square value cancel. Finally calculate the value of n square. N square value 60 power 4 divided by how much I will get? 4. So n value calculate. If I calculate n value, so finally I will get which is equal to 1800. Simplify this. Square root 60 power 4 square root value 60 into 60. That is 3600. By 4 square root value 2. So 3600 by 2 value will be of 1800. What is that? The number of rotations completed by the wheel in how much time? In 1 minute. Okay na? So this is the question number 24. Next question. So question number 30. So what is this question is? The moment of inertia of a uniform disc about an axis passing to the center and perpendicular to plane is 1 kilogram per meter square. It is rotating with an angular velocity 100 radian per second. A second circular disc of same mass and radius joined to it coaxially. Now these two discs joined together continue to rotate about the same axis. Then what is the loss of kinetic energy? First, initially what is there? One circular disc is there. It is rotating about an axis. For this circular disc, the moment of inertia is given. So value will be how much? 1 kilogram meter square. Correct? It is rotating with an angular velocity omega 1 value 100 radian per second. What they did? They joined another circular disc coaxially. But this is the first disc, this is the second disc. Second disc initially another identical circular disc of same mass or same radius. What does it mean? Moment of inertia of the second disc also same as that of first one, which is given by 1 kilogram meter square. Correct? But the second disc initially at rest. They are not mentioned, but they are not given angular velocity of second disc also. So that's why we need to take only it is at rest. Omega tau value 0. Now what they ask us to calculate? So what is the initial kinetic energy? Initial kinetic energy. Initially first disc is in motion. 1 by 2 into I1 into omega 1 square. What is the final kinetic energy? Final kinetic energy value will be equal to. So after joining, both are joined together. Both are rotating together, which is given by I1 plus I2 into what? Omega 2 square or omega square. What is omega? Final angular velocity after joining. So initial angular velocity kinetic energy calculated. final kinetic energy calculated. In this given question they are asking what is the loss of kinetic energy. How can we calculate the loss of kinetic energy? So that is given by this is of initial kinetic energy, this is of final kinetic energy. Initial kinetic energy minus final kinetic energy. So that can be writing directly formula. So will be given by 1 by 2 into I1 into I2 divided by, so I1 plus I2 into omega 1 minus omega 2 whole square. This is similar to that of in collisions. In case of perfectly inelastic collision, so loss of kinetic energy formula 1 by 2 into m1 into m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into v1 minus v2 whole square. Here what is the difference then? There in linear motion velocity, here angular velocity. There in linear motion mass, here a moment of inertia. By using this only you will get this. So now can I substitute the values? 1 by 2 into I1 value 1, I2 value 1 by 1 plus 1, omega 1 value 100 minus omega 2 value 0 whole square. So then what will get the answer is of 1 by 4 into 10 to the power of 4. So they are asking the answer in kilojoules, so 10 to the power of 3. So 1 by 4 value 0.25 into 10 to the power of 4, which is given by 2.5 into 10 to the power of 3, which is of 2.5. So kilojoules, 2.5 kilojoules. So this is the value of which one? Loss of kinetic energy. Understood? Because of this joining, so what happened to the kinetic energy will be lost. That value will be given by this. So this is question number 30. Next one. Okay, question number 30. So what is this question is? A spring is wrapped around a wheel of radius r. The axis of the wheel is horizontal and its moment of inertia is about its axis is I. The weight mg is tied to the free end of the string and is released to fall down from the rest position. The angular velocity of the wheel after it has fallen through a distance h. Question number 32 now. So what they have given is one wheel given. One wheel given. That wheel radius given. The axis of the wheel given it as horizontal. What they did is they wrapped one string. One string is rotated to that wheel. So the one end of the wheel is connected to string is connected to a block. Now what happened? The block is fallen to a height of h. They are asking what is the angular velocity of this wheel. The moment of inertia of this ring of this wheel about this axis or this axis, which are symmetrical, both are same. So they given moment of inertia value this I. This distance we know this value will be equal to r. Now what we want to calculate is, so they are asking to calculate what is the angular velocity of this wheel when this block weight mg fallen to a distance h. Initially wheel is at a rest position. A string is wrapped to wheel. A block is connected to string. When we leave the block, then it will fall down. When it is falling down, because of the string attached, what happened to the wheel? Will rotate. With what angular velocity it will rotate? They are asking us to calculate. Here we will apply law of conservation of energy. According to law of conservation of energy, the change in potential energy will be equal to the change in kinetic energy. Understood? So what happens when block is falling down? Its potential energy decreases. That potential energy will be given to where here block is coupled to where the wheel. The decrease in the potential energy will be transferred to increase in the kinetic energy. Energy neither decrease nor energy cannot be created, destroyed, but we can only know it can be transferred. So what is the potential energy value given by m into g into h? That is the kinetic energy, rotation kinetic energy, 1 by 2 into I dash into omega square. Why are written I dash here? I dash is the moment of inertia of this wheel about this axis. This is the axis of rotation, about a tangent. It is rotating about the tangent. I dash value is equal to I plus m into r square. Applying which theorem? Parallel axis theorem. Then what I will get? M into g into h value will be equal to 1 by 2 into I plus m r square into how much omega square. Therefore, what is the value of omega is equal to root over 2 into m into g into h divided by how much? I plus m into r. So this is the expression for which one? Angular velocity. Angular velocity 2 into m into g into h divided by I plus m. Question understood? So this is the question number 30. Next question. So question number 35. So what is this question is? O is the center of equilateral triangle ABC. F1, F2, F3 are the three forces acting along three sides. So AB, BC, AC as shown in the figure. What should be the magnitude of F3 so the total torque about O is 0? In question number 35, one equilateral triangle given. The equilateral triangle name is given ABC. Force is acting so one force is acting along AB. That is given by what? F1 bar. Other force is acting along BC. That is given by what? F2 bar. Another force is acting along AC. So that value will be given as F3 bar. Now these three forces are acting about the centroid. So from the centroid, the distance of each vertices will be same now. So can I call the distance value will be equal to x. Now they ask you what should be the magnitude of F3. So the total torque about O will be equal to 0. So torque will be equal to total torque will be equal to 0. So whenever torque is 0, the body will be in rotational equilibrium. When it is rotational equilibrium, sum of the clockwise moments is equal to sum of the anti-clockwise moments. What is the meaning of moment? Product of force and the distance. Here three forces are there. First we should come to know which will rotate clockwise direction, which will rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Okay. Now this force will try to rotate in clockwise and anti-clockwise. Whenever the force applied like this, it will try to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Whenever the force applied like this, it will try to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. So moment due to F1 and F2 are anti-clockwise. So which moment is taken as positive? Anti-clockwise. Which moment is taken as negative? Clockwise. So what about the moment of F3? Because of the applying force here, the body will rotate like this. This is clockwise. So what is the condition is whenever torque is 0, sum of anti-clockwise moments will be equal to sum of clockwise moments. But when we can able to write this principle, whenever torque value will be equal to 0. So can I call the distance of three forces from the centroid is same. So can I call the distance is x? Then what is the anti-clockwise moment? F3 into x will be equal to. So this value will be equal to, sir, first anti-clockwise I need to write now. So which one will make the rotate in anti-clockwise direction? So that is the value of F1 into F2. F1 into x plus F2 into x. These are the anti-clockwise moments. Will be equal to F3 into x. So from this x value cancel. What is the value of F3? F3 value is equal to F1 plus F2. Correct? Question understood? You should get it clearly. Which force will make the body to rotate in clockwise direction and which force will make to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Then we got it. Even we can calculate this x also. What is x? Distance of each vertices from the centroid. That value will be equal to. So that will be equal to if this equilateral triangle side is given it as E, that x value will be equal to A divided by root. But any of x value not necessary for us. That's why not right. This is question number 35. Next. So question number 39. Important question. So what is this question is? A wheel of radius r rolling down without slipping with a speed v on a horizontal road. When it is at a point A on the road, a small lump of mud separated from the wheel at its highest point B. Drop the point C on the road. What is the distance AC? Wheel is executing rolling motion now. Here is the wheel is there. So it is moving on a horizontal surface. And this is the lowest point A given. So mud particle was thrown from the highest point B. With what velocity wheel is moving? The velocity of center of mass of wheel given V. then what is the value of VB? VB will become, we know that 2V. So in the case of rolling motion, velocity at the lowest point will be equal to 0 and the highest point will be equal to 2. Okay na? So VB value is equal to 2 into V. Now what happens? Particle is thrown like this with the velocity V. It reaches the ground here, C. They ask you to calculate what is the C value. We know this. This is same as that of horizontal projectile. Whenever it is projected from a tower of height horizontally, now we want to calculate the range value. Now, what is the height of the point B? Height of the point B will be given by double the radius. If it is R, this is R. So height value will be equal to how much? 2 into R. So what is H value? 2 into R. With what initial velocity the mud particle was thrown? U will be equal to VB will be equal to 2. H value is equal to 2 into R. Now, what I want to calculate the horizontal range, projectile. All are interrelated only topics in projectile motion. So what is the horizontal range value? For a horizontal projectile, R value will be equal to U, horizontal component of velocity, into time of flight. So what is horizontal component of velocity value here? V. And what is time of flight value? 2 into H by G. H value is equal to 2R. Then R value nothing but AC, which is nothing but 2 into V into root over 2 into H value will be of 2R divided by G. Then what is the answer for AC? AC value will be equal to 4 into V into root over R divided by G. Question understood? AC nothing but horizontal range. We know this already. Okay, now R is equal to U. Otherwise, you don't know this formula. Then general formula for distance. Distance is equal to velocity into time. Okay. This is question number 13. Next. Question number 42. So what is this question number 42? A boy and man carries a uniform rod of length L horizontally in such a way that boy will get 1/4 of the weight. The boy is there at one end of the rod. The distance of the man from the another end. One uniform rod is there. It is carried by one boy and a man. Here boy is there. If my boy is standing at one end. If the man is standing at another end means both will get same weight. But man is standing at somewhere. Here the man M. So boy is standing at a distance L from the end, one end. Let us suppose the man is standing at a distance X from one fixed end. Now rod will be in equilibrium because rod will not fall down. It will not rotate, it will not move in a straight line. When it is in fall down, then what happens? The moment of force about any point will be equal to 0. So then what can I able to write this? So I can able to write it. So weight handled by the boy and weight handled by. So as per here torque value will be equal to 0. Then what is the condition I can write? Sum of clockwise moments will be equal to sum of anti-clockwise moments. Correct? Here what is the force value? Nothing but weight. So weight acting on the boy vertically downwards, weight acting on the man vertically downwards. It will rotate like this, anti-clockwise. It will rotate in clockwise. So what I will get the moment? Moment is equal to weight into distance. What is the distance of the boy from one end? L. The weight handled by the boy, bearing by the boy, can I call W1? W1 into L will be equal to weight which is holded by the man. Can I call it as W2? W2 value will be given as W2 into X. But in given question, W1 is total weight is W. So boy is carrying only 1/4 of the load. And remaining load W2 is holded by the man. That is 3/4 into W. Then what will get the answer given by? So W/4 here I will W/4 into L will be equal to 3 into W/4 into X. 4 value cancel. W value cancel. X value is equal to L/. What is X? Distance of the man from the one end. If the man is standing at this distance, what happens? So boy will get 1/4 of the load. 3/4 of the load will be holded by the man itself. This is according to law of conservation of angular momentum. Okay, na? Next, question number 46. So what is this question is? A particle of mass m moving in yz plane with a uniform velocity v with its trajectory running towards positive y axis and intersecting the z axis at z is equal to e. Okay na? Question number 46. Particle was moving in yz plane. So this is z axis given and here they given it as y axis and the particle started from here. It is moving with the velocity v. So intersecting the z axis at a distance here to here, this distance is given it as e. The change in the angular momentum about the origin as it bounces elastically from the wall. So at y is equal to constant. After hitting what happened to the ball will come back. They are asking us to calculate change in angular momentum. What is the change in angular momentum? This change in angular momentum is nothing but initial angular momentum minus final angular momentum. So what is the initial angular momentum? Final angular momentum LF minus LF or LF bar minus LF. Angular momentum nothing but moment of linear momentum. So now what happened to the particle will go forward direction, again it will come back. So if we consider it is a one circular path, one complete rotation, then radius value will be equal to e. Then what is the angular momentum value given by? So m into velocity v into a into e power x. Why e power x cap? Angular momentum direction will be in linear direction perpendicular to both r bar and p bar. Here r bar and p bar is yz plane. So that's why the angular momentum direction is along x axis. And what is the final? This is the value of final angular momentum. And initial angular momentum given by m into v into a into e power x cap. But both the directions are opposite. So one is going forward direction and another is backward direction. One is towards positive x axis, other is towards negative x axis. So that's why I will get a direction minus into minus plus. If I take here v plus, here I will get v value minus. Then total answer given by 2 into m into v into a into e power x. Are you getting our question? Why taken minus or minus plus? Velocity. While going up, it is going along positive y axis. But while coming, it is negative y axis. So if I take while going positive v, while coming negative, that's why we got the final value 2m into v into a into e power x. This is the final of angular momentum. Final angular momentum. Question number 46. The last question of this class and this chapter, that is question number 15. So what is this question is? The density of a non-uniform rod of length 1 meter. One rod given that uniform, non-uniform rod. Mass distribution everywhere not same. Length of the rod will be given 1 meter. They given density as a R. They calling it as R. Otherwise you call it as rho of x also, no problem. Rho of x is equal to a into 1 plus b into x square, where a and b are constants. Then what they are asking us to calculate, what is the center of mass? This is continuous mass distribution. So first let me calculate one small element of this rod. That element length value can I call dx. That element mass value can I call dm. So what is the mass of the element given by? Mass per unit length value m by l into dx. Correct? That is the mass per unit length. Then what is the formula for xcm for continuous mass distribution? Integration of x into dm by integration of dm. Correct? Integration of x into dm divided by integration of dm. What about this limits you need to substitute? Substitute the values of limits. So this point, this is the, if I consider from one end if I consider, so this maximum distance value will be equal to L. Can I apply the limit 0 to L? Here also 0 to L. Then what will be the answer for xcm? Xcm value will be equal to, so integration of x into dm value. What is dm dm value here I need to write is, okay, here the density given, linear density. What is linear density? Linear density nothing but a mass by length. Actually here what I need to write, dm by mass by length, dm by dx. So what is the value of dm? Rho into dx. Instead of writing this formula, so I will write mass of the element dm, because the given density na, dm value is equal to rho into dx. So what is rho value? A into 1 plus, here I will write, which is equal to a into 1 plus d into x square into dx. Can I write that? Here understood? Linear density, so mass divided by length, that element mass value d, length value dx, dm by x. What happened to dm? Rho into dx. Okay, then XCM formula, integration of x into dm by d. Then what I will get? Integration of x into dm value rho into dx divided by integration of rho into dx. Limits 0 to l, 0 to l. Then what I will get here? So can I substitute the value of rho? XCM value is equal to integration of 0 to l x into this value a into, so 1 plus b into x square into dx divided by, so integration of 0 to l, here rho value a into 1 plus b into x square into dx. For doing this problem, compulsory you should know regarding to do integration. So integration you need to apply. Then XCM value will be equal to, can I split the integration? This can be written as integration of 0 to l, so ax into dx plus integration of which one? Integration of still what is there? Still ab into x square, ab into x cube into dx. Integration limits are given by 0 to l. Denominator also same. So integration 0 to l, so a into dx plus integration of 0 to l into ab into x square into dx. Okay, can I apply the integration? Only one formula. What is integration of x power n formula? X power n into dx is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Apply the same formula. Here a and b are constants. When a and b are constants, then what I will get? XCM value will be equal to, so XCM is equal to, here if I bring a outside, integration of x into dm, x by integration value x square by 2 within the limits of, so 0 to l. Limits values are given by what? 0 to l plus ab into x cube integration x power 4 by 4, 0 to l limits, by denominator divided by a into integration of dx value x plus ab into integration of x value x square by 2. So integration limits here 0 to l, integration limits here 0 to l. So substitute the limits, then simplify, I will get the final answer. Understood now? Integration method you need to apply. There you substitute the values, then you simplify. So you will get the final answer. That in place of x, what should I write? Here x is there, x integration x by x square by 2. Here x cube is there, integration x power 4 by 4. Here 1 into dx is there, integration value x square is there, integration value here, then in last term x square is there, so integration value given by x cube by 3. So substitute the limits, then simplify, you get the answer. Okay na? So this is regarding the chapter system of particles and rotational motion. So this chapter will be there for this weekend examination, center of mass and system of particles and rotational motion. Okay, and this is about after completion of this chapter, first volume textbook, what are the chapters are the pending chapters, all we completed for objective. Then in the next class onwards we will start the new chapter, that is mechanical properties of fluids. Okay, thank you.